My knees feel great. How about yours? Or better yet, your patients? Now, did you know that there are over 600,000 people that undergo knee replacement surgery every year in the United States, with an average cost of almost $20,000? Now, I have clients that use stem cell injections for knees. They're making millions yearly, and they charge much less than that. But are stem cells genuinely effective in treating knee arthritis based on scientific research, or is it simply a placebo? Hi, I'm Dr. Ross Carter with the Regenerative Warrior Show, bringing you the best ways for medical professionals to market, manage, and magnify their practice. In this episode, I'm going to reveal if stem cells scientifically help knee arthritis. I will also show you an awesome way to legally give yourself a 50% tax savings that you've never heard of. I will also show you some ways to help boost your patient volume. And finally, our special guest today is Dr. Aubry. He is a biomedical gerontologist and the Chief Science Officer of SINS Research Foundation. And he answers the questions for us. Have we really finally discovered a solution to the aging process? So we have a great show this week, so stay tuned.
Harder, harder, faster, faster, stronger, stronger, future, future.
They keep telling me that I make them stronger. Epigenetics, I change so they can feel much younger. When it comes to health, I'm the great restorer. Lives improve daily because I'm a regenerative warrior.
If you know anything about me, you'll know that I'm a huge advocate for the incredible healing power of stem cells. Now, there's one treatment in particular called the autologous mesenchymal stem cell treatment, which has been making waves in the treatment of osteoarthritis. Now, osteoarthritis occurs as a natural part of the aging process. It's basically joint degeneration due to the loss of the cartilage that cushions the bones. Now, stem cells are special cells with the ability to develop into all kinds of different cells. One of their most powerful properties is their ability to teach other cells how to heal themselves. Mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs in particular, release anti-inflammatory factors that help heal and lessen pain. And that's why injecting them into inflamed and damaged joints may be so beneficial. But what does science actually have to say about it? Well, an analysis of all the available studies, which is 45 in total, was recently published in the U.S. National Center for Biotechnology Information website. Now, it looked at the results of patients after 6 months, 15 months, and 2 years from receiving a stem cell treatment for knee osteoarthritis. And what was the result? Well, all the patients showed significant and continued improvement at every stage. The researchers concluded that stem cell treatments should be widely adopted for the treatment of osteoarthritis. Now, this is great news for the tens of millions of people who are worldwide that suffer from osteoarthritis. And as an added benefit, these treatments have an excellent safety profile and avoid all those risks associated with invasive surgery. If you'd like to learn more about adding regenerative therapies like stem cells to your practice, make sure to check out my website at drrosscarter.com. There you can get in touch with me personally. Up next, legally give yourself a 50% tax savings that you never heard of. Now, if there's one thing we can't avoid, it's death and taxes, right? Well, apparently not. Unless you're a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, or Elon Musk. Now, last week, a nonprofit news group called ProRepublica released a bombshell report featuring some IRS data on some of the world's wealthiest people. Now, in it, we learned about Jeff Bezos, the billionaire CEO of Amazon, somehow managed to not pay any income tax in both 2007 and 2011. In fact, he actually claimed a $4,000 child tax credit, despite being worth $18 billion at the time. Now, the runner-up for the world's richest man, who is Elon Musk, also paid zero in income tax in 2018. It's pretty astonishing, right? Well, it might not be right, but it's perfectly legal. Basically, U.S. tax laws don't define some assets, like stocks, as taxable income unless they're actually sold. So as long as you hold on to these stocks, their wealth keeps rising, but not their tax bracket. And you can bet that wherever there's a tax deduction to be made, these guys are going to find have their accountants all over. So what can you do as a medical professional to save on your own taxes? Well, obviously, most doctors or nurse practitioners probably don't have billions in stock options. Although, hey, we're not here to judge if you do. You're also unlikely to be able to apply for some of the kinds of tax deductions that Jeff Bezos can. But one thing you can deduct for under the right circumstances is insurance. That's where the power of something called the captive insurance company comes in. Now, there's plenty of information about the process online, which I would suggest you look up, but let's run through the whole theory. Ordinarily, when you pay your malpractice premiums to a traditional insurance company, that money is gone forever if you don't make any claims. Now, when you form your own captive insurance company, you collect the premiums yourself. The funds are then invested. According to IRC S831B2, the premiums your captive insurance company collects are tax-free. Your captive only pays the taxes on the income it earns from its investments. So when you do need the money, you just pay yourself a dividend. So let's clarify with an example. Let's say you're in the 50% tax bracket, and you normally pay yourself about $500,000 in premiums. You can deduct this $500,000 as an insurance expense, which gives you a $250,000 tax savings. Your captive insurance company receives the $500,000 tax-free. Now you can use that money for investments and grow your wealth. Now, it sounds more appealing than handling the $250,000 to the government, right? So what's the catch? Well, setting up a captive insurance company does require dealing with lots of regulatory compliance. So ask your accountant about setting one up. Now, if they're not familiar with this, or there are several different companies that specialize at this. So if you need some help, just text the word tax to 561-962-1231. Up next, guaranteed ways to boost patient volume. 2020 was a rough year for everyone, and most healthcare practices are still struggling to make up for lost revenue. Thankfully, things are starting to get back to normal, and patients who have put off seeking care due to the pandemic are now returning. Now, make sure to take advantage of this by implementing some of these strategies. First of all, re-engagement. Make sure you're actively encouraging patients to manage their health and wellness. Whether it's through social media, email campaigns, text messaging, or targeted ads, remind them that you're still there to help. Now, don't lose out on digital. With so many practices and businesses in general forced to take all their services online, patients have become used to the mobile options. Now, even if you're still seeing patients in person for consults or whatever for treatment, there are a lot of other processes that can stay digital. Think like your intake form or pre-registration or appointments, self-scheduling. Encourage positive reviews. Now, do you check out the online reviews of a business before you work with them? Yes, of course you do. And so do your potential patients. So dedicate some time to cultivate positive online reviews. Now, we're going to speak more in depth about this very topic next week. So make sure to check out our next week's episode. Look at expanding services. Consumers expect a lot more these days, and offering new services and treatment is a great way to get new feet coming in your door. You might want to consider, say, adding behavioral health or nutrition or weight loss or functional medicine, or offer other additional treatments. Now, if you'd like to get started using, say, stem cells or exosomes, for example, you could reach out to me for advice. Just go to my website, drrosscarter.com. There you can schedule a time to talk with me. Our special guest today is Dr. Aubry de Grey. He is a biomedical gerontologist and the Chief Science Officer of SINS Research Foundation. Dr. Aubry de Grey, my question to you is, have we finally discovered a solution to aging?
I don't really like to say that the goal is to stop aging. Aging is a side effect of being alive. In other words, you get the accumulation of various types of molecular and cellular damage in the body as an intrinsic, inextricable consequence of the network of processes that the body has to do to keep us alive from one day to the next. How's that going? Well, not too bad. The way that I've decided to essentially classify these types of damage is according to the ways in which we might go about doing the damage repair. And some of those ways are definitely further along than others. They were further along than others even at the beginning, 20 years ago, when I first conceived of this approach. But the good news is that they're all going pretty well. So the ones that were the hardest back then are still probably the hardest, the ones that have the most work to do, but they're a hell of a lot further ahead than they were, and things are accelerating as we get every incremental little bit of proof of concept gets people a little bit more enthusiastic and confident that we might actually be able to do this. And so that means that there's more money available and things go faster as a result. So I'm pretty happy.
That's all for this week. Next week, we'll cover, is resveratrol a possible solution to COVID-19, why your practice should be paying a lot more attention to your online reviews, and some simple ways for you to improve them, how to prevent a data breach from bankrupting your business, which you can totally do. And we'll also have another special guest. Thanks so much for watching, and please do let us know if there's any specific topics or treatments you'd like to know more about. We'll see you next week.
Harder, harder, faster, faster, stronger, stronger, future, future.
They keep telling me that I make them stronger. Epigenetics I change so they can feel much younger. When it comes to health, I'm the great restorer. Lives improve daily because I'm a regenerative warrior.